All right, everyone. Hello, welcome back. I'm Caitlin. I'm your geeky girlfriend, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a movie review of a limited release movie, which is super cool. Before we get started, I always like to say that there are some minor spoilers ahead when I review these films, as it's very hard to do a movie review that includes no spoilers at all. So I try and keep the big plot lines out of it, but there are some minor spoilers. And also, if you like what you see on this channel, make sure you hit that red button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what movie you want me to review next. I have about 4 or 5 reviews coming today, so drop those comments and let me know what you want me to review. So today's video is something a little bit special, and without getting I'm not trying to be political in this video, but the access to this film is a little bit hard to get. So my family and I, or my husband, saw this movie being advertised on YouTube, and there was a free YouTube stream the night of the release from the Daily Wire. So this movie is written and produced and directed by all Daily Wire employees, and they were doing a free stream of the movie on YouTube. And the movie is called Shut In. You can see the advertisement there for Daily Wire. If you are not familiar, you do have to be a Daily Wire member to watch these videos unless you watch the free YouTube premiere. So we were able to stream the free YouTube premiere, and we were really glad that we did that. And you'll see by the end of this video that I'm really glad we did the free movie stream of this one in particular. They did another movie, Run, Hide, Fight, that was very good and is a must see. I have not done a review on this channel because when I started this channel, I had watched the movie I felt too much prior, but Run, Hide, Fight is a great one. This one did not live up to Run, Hide, Fight for me, so let's go ahead and get into the review. So this is the cover art. There was a pretty big name actress in this film, and now I forget who it was, but they got a pretty big name actress like Naomi something or other to play the lead. And you can see there it was released in February of 2022. So this is a video that I attempted to record in March and it never recorded. So I'm just now getting around to redoing it. So my memory of some things is going to be a little bit off, but thank goodness we have pictures, right? So Shut In, like I said, was released on YouTube as a free stream the night of the release, and we watched it live, or I should say my husband did fall asleep during this film, so take that with a grain of salt. He falls asleep quite a lot during films, so, but either way, it kind of shows you that he was not intensely interested in it. But I did watch the whole thing from start to finish. And the premise of this film is that a single mother who has previously had drug issues in the past now is back in her children's lives. She has 2 children, a 3 or 4-year-old girl, and then a pretty young baby. And it is assumed that she had a stint in a rehab facility or something and has gotten clean and gotten out, and now she's back. And she is watching her children at the house that she's staying at, and her estranged partner, I don't want to say they're not together currently, but he is the father of her children, so we'll just use the word partner, comes back, and he still has active drug problems, and he comes back, and they have this door to a pantry that oftentimes gets stuck, and he knows that, and he locks her in this pantry. And so her kids are outside in the house alone, and she is stuck in this pantry, and the partner leaves, and the whole thing is he's trying to get her in trouble and say that she's an unfit mother for their children and all of that. And so the whole premise, you can see there in the top left picture on your screen that he even boards the door shut so she can't get out and the little girl can't get in. There's no key on the inside. You have to open this pantry door from the outside. And so the whole premise of the first act of the movie is just her figuring out how to get out of the pantry. The bottom left shows her partner's friend, who makes very inappropriate, very creepy remarks toward her children. And it is assumed that he is a pedophile or has had sex offender charges in the past. Doesn't come right out and say it, but the mom's comments towards him make you think that she wants him nowhere near her kids. And I mean, the actor who portrayed this man was very creepy and very inappropriate. So before we get too much into the pros and cons of the film, there is a trigger warning for sure in place for this film. Definite explicit references to drugs, explicit references to alcohol use and abuse, explicit references and images of domestic violence and sexual assault, and like I just said, pedophilic and those sorts of references as well. So definitely trigger warnings in place here. It is supposed to be like a suspense thriller film. And so yeah. So the pros and cons. The beginning is very slow. Well, let's start with the pros. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. The pros. There is a happy ending. Thank goodness, because it was looking a little bleak there in the middle. But the pros, it does have a happy ending. I won't tell you what the ending is, but you can assume based on the pictures that I just showed you and some of the things that I've mentioned. And there is a slight religious subtext, which, being that it was produced by a conservative organization, is to be expected. But there is it's not necessarily a positive religious subtext. The mom kind of wrestles with her religion and at one point tries to blame God for what's happening to her. But then she kind of turns it around and like ends up, realizing that he can light her way and all these things. So it is like a rocky religious subtext. I would say it's not 100% full-fledged, like, oh, God can get you out of any situation. Like, it definitely is there's some questioning going on there. But I think it's important to see the crucifix and the cross in the film, see God being referenced in the film. I think that's important. We don't see that a lot in a lot of other big name Hollywood movies these days. So I think that's just important. There is strong messages of domestic violence advocacy, the mother defending herself, defending her children, doing what she can to get away from that partner, to stop the abuse, to stop the violence. And while it's hard to watch and it is like a little bit gory and gruesome, it is important to see like women fighting back against their abusers. And that is definitely made known in this film. And then there's a strong female role model. The woman is the main character in the film. She is, she does all these things that in the film that women would not be expected to do, right? Like, she shoots a gun at one point in the film. She like claws her way through the floor and the ceiling, and it's all things that, women are typically projected to be weak. Now, I will say there is a shift in Hollywood moving towards more strong female role models, but she is doing a lot of things that women would not be expected to do. Even just being on drugs, that's something that women are not as often portrayed as being drug abusers as men. So even that was sort of a break in a gender stereotype. Now the cons. The beginning is very, very slow. I felt like, even though it was only an hour and a half long movie, I felt like I was watching this film for 4 hours. And the first act, I felt like she was in the pantry for 2 hours. And then when the first act is done and it goes into the second act, which is the climax of the film, that part felt like it was 5 minutes. So it was just, for me, it was not a good balance of like Act 1 and Act 2. I felt like Act 1 was insanely too long and it needed to be cut a little bit. There were some suspenseful parts in Act 1, but for the most part, it was like, okay. And I felt like it was fairly predictable. You can see that down on my list of cons. Like, I knew that I knew the ending for the most part. Like, spoiler alert here, I knew that she was going to get out of the pantry at some point. So it wasn't like I was just waiting for the moment when she does. And then it was very dark. The shooting was dark. The lighting was dark. But also it's very, like I said, the drugs, the sexual abuse, the domestic abuse, the pedophilia. It was very, very dark and heavy. And some of that stuff is hard to watch. So just FYI there. Not that it doesn't make good material, but just know going in that it has some dark stuff. But compared to their previous film, which was Run, Hide, Fight, this one was a major letdown. I had really high expectations because I enjoyed Run, Hide, Fight so much. this one was a little bit of a letdown for me. So overall, I'm going to give it a C minus. It was okay, but I didn't love it. I did like the ending, and I liked the hope that was instilled at the very, very end. But overall, I was just disappointed in this movie. I wanted it to be more than what it was. Even watching the trailer, I had bigger hopes for what it was going to be, and it was just kind of meh. My husband, for the record, has not watched this film. He's never gone back and watched it. And because he fell asleep, I said, no, I'm not telling you what it's about. And he has never sought out watching it. So he wasn't super interested. So that kind of gives you an idea. But like I said, don't let that dissuade you, because he is very particular about movies. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you get the chance, if you are a Daily Wire member or subscriber, you can watch this film at any time. You can subscribe to the Daily Wire at any time. Also, this is not a paid sponsorship for the Daily Wire. This is just me simply reviewing a movie. But you can go to their website and subscribe at any time if you're interested. And then you can watch the film anytime. You can watch Run, Hide, Fight anytime. And they've done 2 other movies as well. So make sure, if you're interested in any of these, go check them out. And as always, subscribe and let me know in the comments what you want me to watch next. And I'll see you guys in the next one.